their main mission is to create a borderless Africa, which means right now there are a plethora of countries in Africa that you cannot actually travel to without having a visa. And we want to bring where in Ghana or in Africa in general, you can travel to any country without having to hold a visa, without having to apply for a visa. So we're really pushing towards that Borderless Africa initiative.
You know, I may end up going over there one time. You should.
I got a place for you. If you ever want to come, let me know.
I may take you up on that. No, I know your father was a big impact on you, and he was a great role model.
Still is to this day. And say this all the time. I believe he's the best father. He's the best friend. He's the best mentor. He gives the greatest advice at the right time. So it's really I contribute a lot of my success right now to him.
Welcome to Bare Wires. This is our 6th episode, and I'm Brian Heyman, your host. We have a great guest tonight, young influencer, and he's going to be doing quite a bit of stuff in the future, so I wanted to get him on here before I can't get him at all. So Jeffrey, say your last name again? Nyarko. And
well, it's actually pronounced Nyarko.
Nyarko.
Yeah, in
Ghana.
Yeah, in Ghana, it's pronounced Nyarko, but over here, it's Nyarko.
That's right. It makes it easy for everybody.
Yeah.
Welcome to Bare Wires.
Thank you.
And I've heard a lot of great things about you from a lot of different people. Your story, and I'm intrigued about what's happening with you, with the UN, a couple other things that we'll get into later on. But let's talk about your story on how you got here. You were actually born in New York, right?
I was. So born in Manhattan, Mount Sinai Hospital. Was in the Bronx for about a couple months of my life. And then we ended up moving to Rockland County, Spring Valley. So was there for about 8 months. Parents ended up facing some financial issues, financial problems. Sent me and my siblings to Ghana. So I was there for about 2 to 3 years.
So you have 2 siblings?
I have 3 siblings, 1 sister, 2 brothers.
Okay, so are you the youngest?
I am the youngest.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everybody went over together, to stay with relatives?
Yeah, so we stayed with my grandma, some aunties over there.
Okay.
I remember very few things, but overall, it was a nice experience, yeah.
Yeah, so then you came back to the United States.
Yeah.
Your parents started to do well. You came back. Did everybody come back together? All the kids come back together?
I came back first. And then my siblings ended up coming back probably a few months later. Yeah.
Okay.
And
so you ended up going to school in Rockland. So you were in Spring Valley. Tell me about that experience growing up.
Yeah, so went to Head Start first for preschool. That's where I actually developed the love of basketball. It's funny because every time during break, there would be a mini hoop there, and we would just be playing. And I just loved when the teachers would clap for me, pick me up. So started out at Head Start in preschool, and then I went over to Summit Park for elementary school for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade.
I'm familiar with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So did my first 3 years over there. Then I went over to Kakia Elementary School. Now it's formerly known as Kakia STEAM Academy for 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, and then also did the middle school there for 7th and 8th grade.
Okay. And then there was a program that you got involved in after that, right?
Yes.
Tell us about that program.
The high school program?
Yes.
Yes. So I actually got involved with the P-Tech program. It's a BOCES school. Super amazing decision. Probably one of the best decisions I've made in terms of furthering my education. I was actually planning at first on going to Ramapo High School. Most students from the Ramapo or East Ramapo district usually go off to Ramapo High School or Spring Valley High School. But I wanted something different. I wanted to be in a more smaller school that had less distractions, I felt like. And P-Tech had their advisor or their counselor come over to Kakia one day, spoke about the school. I was like, this is heaven. Like, this is something I really wanted to be a part of.
Is there a concentration in certain subjects at P-Tech?
Yeah, so there's business, there's cybersecurity, there's a plethora of other, concentrations that students can choose from. I think there's over 6 now. When I started off, there was about 4.
Okay.
And like each year, it just gets better and better.
Okay, so what did you choose to get involved in?
business. Business
Okay.
is my thing. Like I always knew I liked business. My dad was a big business guy. He still is. He owns his own shipping company. So I got into business. That's something that I felt like I could really be an impact in.
No, I know your father was a big impact on you, and he was a great role model.
Still is to this day.
And tell me something about your relationship with him and why you got into business. Does he have a import export type of business?
Yeah. So
is it with Ghana?
It is with Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's an express shipping company. He started off very small, just door knocking, and it boomed off. Him and his brother, my uncle, took over the business, and they have their own location in the Bronx called Cajun Dongs Express Shipping, and so that's really where I got that entrepreneurship kind of mindset from, and the helping others mindset from. Like you said, my relationship with him is, the best I can ever think of. I say this all the time. I believe he's the best father. He's the best friend. He's the best mentor. He gives the greatest advice at the right time. So it's really, I contribute a lot of my success right now to him.
So was it mainly products coming out of Ghana? Was it geared towards people from Ghana, those products?
Yeah, so I believe they tried to incorporate other countries at first,
right.
But Ghana was where they had their most sales.
Okay.
So I think that's what they stuck with.
So was it mostly export coming from this country to Ghana?
Yeah, it was both. So they would import. They actually have their own warehouse in Ghana as well. So they have it in Ghana. It's registered in Ghana. It's also registered here. So they have exporting and importing from Ghana to U.S.
Yeah. So for people who aren't familiar with Ghana, Ghana is on the west coast of Africa.
It is.
It's in the Gulf there, and they're, if I'm correct, I think their language is English. I mean, basically. But you said there's another language they speak there.
Yes, Tree. So
what's it called?
Tree.
Tree.
Yeah, Tree, Akan. There's a plethora of other languages in Ghana. Ewe. I'm sure a lot of my friends and family members can mention more, but Tree is like one of the main languages, but English is their primary language. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very, what I found out, it's a very stable country in Africa, which is unusual. The government's pretty stable, and matter of fact, that lends itself to a pretty good economy.
Yeah.
And so I could see that kind of commerce happening once you get outside. Mm-hmm. So is that what your uncle and your father are doing right now? They're still doing the import-export business?
Yeah, still into it, that's like, again, like what I said, it's something that has really driven that business mindset in me. Because I would go as a kid into their office, see like them picking up phone calls, speaking with customers. I'll be like maybe driving with my dad one day, hearing him speak with a customer. So then that kind of built that interest and that people connect.
So I know getting out of high school, you were thinking about going to Plattsburgh, which actually my son went to Plattsburgh.
Oh, wow.
So I know the school pretty well. It's very cold.
Extremely
it's
cold.
Right next to the Canadian border.
Yeah.
But you ended up changing. Why did you change, and where did you change to?
Yeah, great question. So, I was planning initially to go to Plattsburgh. My sister went there for 4 years, got her BA in business administration. And so I was planning on going there. They gave me a full ride scholarship, and I put in my deposit. And about a week after I got accepted, I had also applied to New York University in their Dallas program at SPS. And I was I wasn't optimistic. I didn't think I was going to get in. Graduated RCC with a 2.85 GPA. Ended up taking another class during the summer to get it to a 2.93. And the GPA requirements were obviously a lot higher at NYU.
Right.
Why I applied, I guess I just was optimistic. One thing in my family, we're very faith-based, and I prayed about it, and I asked God, I literally prayed, God, if you want me to get in, or if you want me to go to school, let me get in, right? And so I kind of left it in God's hands, and a week after, I received my admissions letter. Didn't want to open it, but opened it and got in. So I was like, no way. Yeah.
So that changed your mind right away. You were going to go to NYU.
Yeah, it changed my mind because I knew that NYU is really where my heart wanted to be.
Okay.
but Plattsburgh was kind of like the option that I had in terms of never wanted to get into debt after, university. So that was always on my mind. But I got into NYU and still had to, find out how I was actually going to pay for this school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just to go back to RCC, you had a professor there called George Repick, right?
I did.
And George Repick was actually supposed to be on the podcast. He had to cancel for some other reasons, but my daughter also had him.
Wow.
And she for 10 years, she's been talking about this guy. So I finally tracked him down at RCC, and he's going to be on the podcast.
That's awesome.
But how was he as a professor? Shout out to George Repick.
Amazing professor. I would always go to him for advice, and he's always there to help. And like we mentioned, we spoke about before, he spoke about the business program with Copskill or Copskill, and I was interested in the program. He's very good at, getting you interested in things, and he's a very smart mind, very able to, willing to connect with students beyond.
Yeah, I think he runs the business department now.
Department,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So great guy.
So now you're in NYU, you're doing your thing. Your interest was originally in business, and we start to drift from that. So what's going on with you starting to change your mind on what you want to do?
It's funny, like you said, I got into NYU, excuse me, got into NYU really wanting to do business. And my major at first was actually going to be in MIS, in information technology, and I wanted to minor in a business degree. But then my advisor was saying, looking at the transfer credits that you're getting in, it'd probably be best that you do leadership and management, right? And I was like, you know what? I think this is a good idea. That's what we ended up doing. So fast forward about 2 months into my...
Is there a degree in that?
Yeah, this is a degree, leadership and management degree.
So they didn't have that degree when I was going to school. That's great.
Literally defines me. So
Okay.
It was perfect. And 2 months into school, I met one of my mentors, Nana Bedu, who was actually used to work in the Jubilee House in Ghana with the former president. And he introduced me to some programs that were happening at the United Nations headquarters. So I ended up, going to one of them, and that's where things changed for me.
All right, so tell me how they changed, but what the impact was on that.
Yeah, so it was actually the Africa Prosperity Network. They were having a forum in New York City, and I went there with my mentor, and I found out that I was the only 19-year-old in the building.
So there was a number of nations involved in this.
Yeah, so it was during the United Nations General Assembly.
Okay.
So even though this particular forum was based on Africa, the whole week was all about the United Nations and all their formal meetings. And I went to this program, ended up being the youngest person there, and one of the main topics were about youth empowerment, SME building. So I got the opportunity towards the end to kind of share my thoughts on it. And, over there is when, a lot of the people, they were like, wow, like this kid has something to say. And, he's saying a lot of interesting things. And, after I got an offer from, one of the coordinators there, actually the director of the Africa Prosperity Network, Nanadra Hockman. She, spoke to me, said that she would love for me to speak at the next event. So I wasn't even planning on going to Ghana next semester, but she offered that, position, that opportunity, and I couldn't let it down.
So you're going to go to Ghana as an exchange student? Are you taking credits in Ghana for NYU?
I will.
How does that work?
So NYU has over, I believe, 26 campuses across the world.
Okay.
And it turns out that NYU Accra, Ghana, actually, they have a campus in Ghana.
Wow.
Yeah,
well, there's a coincidence.
So it was literally a coincidence, and it was just the perfect opportunity.
So who are you going to actually be working with when you're in Ghana? Is it official government officials? Is it international officials, diplomatic officials?
Yeah.
Who will you be working with?
So it can be a collective of people. So far, we're still in the works, but the internship position is primarily a communications and content intern with the Africa Prosperity Network. So the forum that I'll be speaking at is called the Africa Prosperity Dialogues, and this year is going to be their third anniversary, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, third or fourth. And I'm going to be talking on the topic of youth empowerment and women in Ghana.
So the African Prosperity Initiative.
Yeah.
Explain what their mission is.
Yeah, so their main mission is to create a borderless Africa, which means right now there are a plethora of countries in Africa that you cannot actually travel to without having a visa. And we want to bring where in Ghana or in Africa in general, you can travel to any country without having to hold a visa, without having to apply for a visa. So we're really pushing towards that Borderless Africa initiative.
Isn't some of a lot of countries in Africa are somewhat unstable, Ghana not being one of them.
Yeah.
But, so how does that affect you traveling to these other countries? There's a lot of things going on in Africa right now. Mm-hmm. But, your relationship, Ghana's relationship with other countries in Africa, mm-hmm. What's their relationship? Is it isolated as an economic power there, or do you actually deal with a lot of different nations in Africa?
Yeah, so Ghana is very, very friendly with a lot of other nations. They're known to be accepting from other nations. You'll find out now that a lot of other nations, their citizens are moving to Ghana to actually get jobs and stuff. And Ghana is, extremely accepting, people from other nations, other tribes. So Ghana is an amazing, friend for a lot of African countries, to be honest. And especially in West Africa, I believe it's pretty much, easy to, travel to Ghana, and have relationships with them. So I think Ghana is a great friend to have for other countries.
So do you have a massive immigration situation coming to Ghana? Is Ghana able to take in? I know there's a lot of conflicts going on in Africa mm-hmm. right now. Is there mass migration to Ghana because it is stable? So
to be honest, from what I do know, a lot of the populations from other countries that are coming to Ghana are going mainly for work, okay. And then probably to work and then go back to their various countries. So from what I've seen, like I've been to Ghana a couple of times, or one time really. So from what I've seen, there isn't a mass population in terms of over migration or over immigration in the country.
So you're going to go there, do this internship, and basically try to make better relationship with other African countries.
Yeah.
And, open up trade and economic prosperity to other countries that are not as stable as Ghana. I mean, Ghana is pretty stable with their government and everything else compared mm-hmm. to a lot of other countries in Africa.
Exactly. And it also to bring awareness to, what's going on in Ghana. Aside from the Africa Prosperity Network, which they're doing amazing things in Ghana, I also plan on, involving myself in other initiatives. My family actually created a nonprofit organization. It's called the A.E. Nyarko Foundation.
Yeah, I saw that doing some research. Tell me what that mission is.
It's a powerful mission. So we already started. We created a vocational school where we're teaching young ladies how to do certain works for them to actually have opportunity for a job. It's actually based currently in Adulfo, Ghana. So there is around the Gamwa area in Ghana, and in that city, in that town, it's a very poor area. A lot of the young kids don't really have hope for a future. And what my family is doing right now, we're creating opportunities for these kids. We actually have one kid that we've found him a trainer, and he's playing soccer or football, formerly known, and now he's potentially going to be playing on the Ghana 17U team. That's all in the works. So the national team. So he might even play in the big stage, one day. So
wow,
there's so many things that we're doing out there, and we have more initiatives. Very, very soon we're gonna start opening up some campaigns for donations and all that. So definitely, if anyone's interested, that'll be something you can help.
Now,
with.
Is there a heavy population of people from Ghana in Rockland?
There is.
There is. Where? In Spring Valley?
Spring Valley, Haverstraw has,
Okay.
there is a strong population for Ghanaians here, which is what I love.
Right.
I have a lot of friends. Nyack as well has a strong population.
Okay, so you're going to go there for an internship and basically spread the word for this particular group, and you're like a diplomat for the United States. I mean, you're really the guy that's coming from the United States, and demonstrating how it is here compared to how it is there. Mm-hmm. All right, so that's a lot of responsibility.
It is.
Now, when are you supposed to leave for that?
So I leave around mid-January.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'll be back in around May.
Now, is your non-for-profit organization also in Ghana that you're going to be touching base with when you're there?
Yeah, so it is in Ghana. It's in Gamwa, Adolfo, Ghana. And we have it registered here, and it'll be registered, or it is registered actually in Ghana as well. So it's registered both in the United States and in Ghana.
And your father's involved with that not-for-profit?
Yeah. So my father, my uncle, and my family back home started it, and we're doing as much as we can to help that city.
So, have you changed your mind from business to diplomatic type stuff, or will you get involved in that with internationally? I mean, you got a taste of the United Nations down there. You seem to, gravitate towards that. Is that something that you think you want to do?
It's a funny question because I think about it all the time. I think my life is my main purpose is to help others in any way, to help people have a better life. That's whatever I want to do, as long as I help someone have a better life, or grow someone from where they feel like they have no potential to where they see that they do have potential. Those are the things that I like to involve myself in. And I think I can do that in business, and I think I can do that in the United Nations as well. Something that has always been something I love to, get a part of is real estate. I love watching videos on real estate. I love learning about real estate. So those are the type of things that I want to get involved in as well in Ghana, especially in terms of, buying, selling land, and, teaching people how to navigate that area.
So if you were to go back to Ghana, what opportunities would you be looking at? Is there a lot of land for sale there?
There is.
I know there's mining there. What are some of the main products from Ghana?
Gold. Gold is the biggest. Ghana is actually one of the biggest distributors of gold in the world. And I believe they're number 2 or 3 in the whole of Africa.
Really?
Yeah.
And is there an international presence from other countries trying to, take advantage of that?
China.
Okay, China's there.
Yeah, so China's there.
How is your government dealing with these outsiders coming in and trying to do mining there? Because it does go on throughout Africa, especially for precious metals. I mean, it's well documented in a couple books. Cobalt is one of the products that they're using the natives to basically mine. In a very primitive way, and you wonder at what point Ghana is a little more sophisticated that Ghana takes control of the reins of mining gold. Are they regulating China as they come in, or how is that working?
So from our research, I would say in the past, Ghana has definitely been used by their products and their resources. But from what I've seen so far, Ghana has built a strong understanding and communication and friendship with China now, to where they're able to regulate that and actually gain from their mining partnerships with China. Our president currently in Ghana is John Dramani Mahama, and he has a great relationship with China. You can find blogs, podcasts, interviews with him and the Chinese government. They're actually working on a project creating the second largest amusement park in the whole of Africa. It's going to be a $300 million amusement park in a part of Ghana where they're actually going to be so much more opportunity for investors and like real estate and various people that are trying, or especially diasporans that are trying to invest into Africa. So in terms of the relationships, in terms of the mining, I believe Ghana's relationship with China has grown tremendously, and there is that bond now.
Okay, so China Is it benefiting the country economically for their own workers? Who does most of the work? The technology that comes in, does China bring the technology in, and the Ghanaians do the work, or how does that work with the goal?
Yeah, so for now, Ghanaians are trying to focus a lot on their resources and like building and building on their own resources. But China does import a lot of resources into Ghana, especially for companies that are trying to maybe start a new company or a lot of Ghana's product are from China. So it can be from household appliances to, infrastructure for their companies. Most of it does come from China because it's a lot cheaper and it's easier to, it's easier to bargain with. So most of their resources do.
No, I know there's some Americans there. I don't know how large the American influence is over there, but. There's a couple different standards of living. Like I read where, if you want to live well in Ghana, it's going to cost you. You know. So what is it, for example, what is the average somebody makes in Ghana who actually lives there? What is the national average income of somebody there?
So if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's about 1,000 cedis to 3,000 cedis a month.
Okay, what does the CD equal in a dollar?
So right now it went down after tariffs and inflation, but right now it's around $11.57 or 11 CDs and 57 pesos for $1.
Got it.
So which is honestly for Americans that's really good because it's easy to navigate when you get there.
Yeah. So I would think because it's such a stable country, there would be more influence from America. But China's obviously going through Africa pretty well. They're in just about every country
for sure
for precious metals, and we have this constant battle going on, especially with AI coming in. That we're going to need these precious metals.
Yep.
But I know you're looking forward to going back there.
I am.
You're going back there by yourself? Is anybody from your family going back there with you?
So I'll be going by myself first, and then I do believe as I'm there, maybe some family will stop by. But I kind of like this time where I get to go out there myself and kind of experience Ghana for the first time, really myself. Most of the times, or the first time that I really went, which was last year. I went with family. We went for some family outings and just for vacation. But this time I'll be going kind of like on a business and school trip at the same time by myself.
Are you staying with family or are you staying in another place?
So I'll be staying in a place with family. But so in Ghana, I kind of have family everywhere.
Okay.
So I'll definitely be with family for sure, and I want to be with family. Good. But obviously, there's going to be times where you have to, be by yourself or be doing, your duties. But I have a lot of family in Ghana, which is I love that. So. Yeah.
So, with all these different interests you have, what do you see yourself really gravitating towards? I know you talked about real estate. I'm involved with real estate to a certain extent. I work with a lot of young guys who start businesses in this country, so I'm familiar with. But is there a direction? Is there somewhere that you really want to concentrate? It seems like you're doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
And you're young, so you get to do that. But is there anything that really, has your interest piqued where you'd say, okay, I'm going to go down this road no matter what, and I could do all these other things, as side things, but I'm going to focus on this?
There is. So ultimately, I want to be a youth development specialist at the United Nations. So I believe something where I get to impact the youth in Ghana or in countries, throughout the world is something where I really see myself getting to. In terms of how that exactly looks like, I'm not 100% sure yet, but I do see myself being a youth development specialist.
So, is there a program in the United Nations that basically has youth development in it?
There is.
So how does that work?
So it works in a plethora of ways. There's the Area Foundation International, which I'm actually a part of right now, where you can go on, retreats, or you can go to various UN, programs and actually kind of mentor, people that are trying to get into that space, trying to get into that international affairs space. So that's kind of where I see myself fitting in.
Yeah, I got to know you through Richard Gore, who is Rockland Works, and he said that you spoke in front of them. How are you involved with Rockland Works here?
Yeah, so it's funny, when I was at P-Tech in high school, a part of the program, we would also go to RCC and take classes over there. So I was taking dual enrollment classes and going back and forth to RCC and P-Tech. And one of the...
For our audience, just explain P-Tech.
So P-Tech is the high school that I went to. It's the...
more of a skilled...
skill-based school, pathways in technology.
Okay. So they focus on particular subjects that are concentrated while you were still taking general courses in RCC.
Exactly. And it's a school it's a 6-year program, but I was able to finish it in 5. It prepares you perfectly for, the real world. So very grateful. So at RCC, I, had to work on some projects, and one of my professors, Don Hammond, I did a project with him where I was, working with the NIAC Cares Fund. And Don Hammond was the former mayor.
Of NIAC, right?
Yeah, of NIAC. Yeah. Now it's Joe Rand. And I did a project with them. Ended up getting recognized at the NIAC Village Hall. And then, got the Sevenson Scholarship from Mark and his Minnie Sevenson. So how did I meet Joe, right? So how did I meet
Rich?
There you go. So it turns out that I ended up wanting to do an internship in real estate. And the intern or the broker that I wanted to work with, he told me to go through the Rockland Works program. His name is Adam O'Gorman, by the way. And
I know Adam.
Oh, yeah. Of course you do.
Shout out to Adam.
So Adam told me to go through the Rockland Works program. I was like, sure, anything you want me to do, I'll do it. And that's where I met, Rich. He was one of my advisors, him, Christelle, and Peter. And Rich is just a fantastic guy. He's really for the youth. He's really for helping. He's really for anyone that he sees that puts their mind to something. Like you're gonna get help from Rich. So amazing guy. And they ended up. I went through the program, finished my internship with Norfolk North Commercial Real Estate as a real estate intern. Amazing internship. And then they ended up, finding out that, I was doing some things at NYU, and they asked me to come and speak at the, the board meeting. So that's...
So when you talk about real estate, are you talking, you want to get involved in residential, commercial? What actual aspect of real estate would you like to get involved in?
More of I was doing commercial.
Okay.
I was doing commercial here. Honestly, almost everything about real estate kind of interests me, but I really like the commercial real estate sector. I think that's where I can fit best in. Residential real estate is great as well. But there's a lot that comes with it, as well. So I think I really like the commercial real estate sector.
Great. So we're looking forward to, maybe when you get back, having another podcast, because I'm very interested in Ghana. You're the one who piqued my interest in the country because I did some research on it, and I may end up going over there one time.
You should. I got a place for you. If you ever want to come, let me know.
I may take you up on that. I'm really looking forward to hearing what you did over there. I think you're going to do some great things. I'm really hopeful that you can do some good diplomatic things for Africa and the relationship with other countries, including the United States, and I think it'll go a long way. But I really appreciate you coming to the podcast, and we wish all the best on this trip. I know you're leaving very shortly. That's why I wanted to get you in here pretty quickly. But what we're gonna do is reach out to you when you get back and tell me about your experience in Ghana. Okay?
Awesome.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
All right.